Missed an episode of your favorite podcast? Choose from over a decade of content in our archives, not just the latest episode. All free at gcnlive.com.
This is your call to action. Get prepared, America. Economy, survival, energy, disasters. This is USAPrepares.com. Informative radio, educational radio. Interact now by emailing instructor@USAPrepares.com or text at 434-390-7953. Class, please take your seats. Now, your instructor, Vincent Finelli.
Watch the greenbacks tumble.
Everyone all set, cocked, locked. Here we go. Your dial set correctly to USAPrepares.com. We're delighted you're here, and we're broadcasting 2 hours from the Missouri Ozark Mountains. There's a link to your instructors on the website, USAPrepares.com. Converging threats are confronted daily by your instructors. I'm Vincent Finelli. Aaron is engineering the broadcast in Minnesota. Captain John Regan's with us. Welcome, Captain John Regan.
Good morning, Vincent.
Hey, John, did you know that that we have a new listen line? Really works very, very well. It's on a reservation, and what's really neat about it is it goes right through. I called it no commercials. Boom, you're right there. 605-477-3249. 605-477-3249. Repeat. 605-477-3249. And that's just for us. USAPrepares.com. So, Captain John Regan. Where would you like to start today? I'm at the financial state of the union.com. I'm at the news tab, and you have a really full class for us today. Where would you like to start?
Oh, boy. Let's go ahead and start with running the numbers. And you can see by the length of this post, that's where a lot of my week went. And I had tried to talk about this on the air. The first hour Larry was on Tuesday, and it just didn't work out well. So I've put this together, and it's we need to kind of treat this like the financial state of the union. It's not the numbers so much because we don't understand those numbers. It's what the numbers mean. And what I've done here is make it to where you can go in, you've got the sources for the numbers, you can check my numbers, you can check my math, and I can tell you this, with the financial state of the union, it's been published for almost 2 years, and I have yet to have a person tell me that the numbers or the math in it is wrong. So,
well, not only that, John, you have yet to get a complaint.
And I'm kind of shocked at that. I was expecting a lot more flack. But I put this together because if you're going to go to a governor and tell him that all he's got to do is keep the money in the state that would have gone to Washington, this is what the governor is going to show you. And if you have no rebuttal for this, you're going to be dead in the water. So, I'm also want to say, I'm not doubting any of Larry Nichols' experience and knowledge. He was a presidential insider. When I went to the D.C. cesspool almost 30 years ago, I was just a captain working in the basement of the Pentagon. I was working on the nuclear planning system. When I left in early '88, I had my MBA, but even at that point, I still thought that the Federal Reserve was part of the federal government. So I've learned a lot over the years, and I know there's things that I don't know. But when Larry comes in and tells us that all the governor has to do is withhold the funds. That's not the picture I'm getting, and I'm going to break this down both in, say it was just partial, say highway funds, or what it means if it's all the federal funds. And there ends up being a couple of possibilities here, because we've got the financial report of the United States. We got the CAFRs from the states, and that's their comprehensive annual financial report. When I say CAFR, that's just what they're called. There's thousands of governmental entities in the United States, and when it's below the federal level, that's what they're called. So if there are these funds going to D.C., I'm going to show that they're not being accounted for, which would make for a big conspiracy. I can't put that aside, but if it is true, there's a lot of players involved. Otherwise, what the governor's going to do is come back and show you that they are getting, and this varies a little bit depending on the state, about 40% of their income from the federal government. And in order to make up a 40% loss, you would have to raise all your other sources of income, which are not just taxes, penalties, fines, rents, everything across the board. You'd have to raise it by 66% to make up the difference. Now, on the other hand, if the state is sending this money to the government, and I'll get into the details of this later, but basically I took the large state of Texas and a small state, New Mexico, averaged those and multiplied by 25 to get, a rough guesstimate for the 50 states. It works out to about $1 trillion a year that the federal government would be receiving. The problem is I've got no record in the state CAFRs that money's being collected or sent out, nor do I see that money being collected by the federal government. And that's why I say it would be a big conspiracy, and just imagine what the federal government could do with a slush fund of $1 trillion a year. And like I say, I wouldn't put it past them, but we need some more evidence. I start off with a wiki article, and if you look at the post I made running the numbers, and you've got the standard settings on your computer, you'll see hyperlinks in blue that will take you to where I'm referring. And this wiki article talks about, in total, the federal government gets a bit over $3 trillion a year. That's, confirmed in multiple places, including the financial report of the United States. And they say there's $2.7 trillion going to the states. And that includes everything that's going to something in the state, whether it's Social Security recipients, these FEMA loans for disasters, contracts to businesses, everything that's going to the state. It does not include things like interest on the debt, things going on overseas, including military. So, yeah, it makes it tough to tie it all together, but we don't necessarily need to do that. There's a couple of notes. There's a column showing what's received from each state, and a column showing what's going to each state. And there's a note. Note 6 takes us to a spreadsheet from the IRS. Note 7 takes us to another government website, which is really neat. It shows where the money goes, and you click on the spending map, then you can start drilling down a bit. And in fact, if you really want to do some research, they offer the data for download, where you can take it and manipulate it yourself to come up with what you're looking for. Well, what we see as income from the federal government, the biggest chunk is from personal income taxes and the payroll taxes of Social Security and Medicare. The next largest, which is about 1/10 of what we get from the personal side, is corporate taxes. And then there's a minuscule amount that's made up with estate taxes, gift taxes, excise taxes. And that's what's on the IRS spreadsheet. When you go into the financial report of the United States, there's some other minor sources like customs duties, but it still works out to there's just a bit over $3 trillion a year, and none of that is coming directly from the state, with the exception of state employees with the what they're sending in, is the withholding for the payroll of state workers, the Social Security and Medicare taxes, as well as the federal unemployment tax. And that's all we see accounted for as income. When we look at the states, if you go to that website and you go to where the map is, and you want to select FY 2014, because we're working with that fiscal year to keep the numbers pretty much in the right place. Then if we select 2014 and hit go, that's where we see the $147 billion, which is what we read about in that wiki article. So we see things are tying. And then what I'm going to do, and I see we're getting ready to go into the break, is that I'm going to use Texas as an example. It has one of the easier to read CAFRs, and we'll be working off page 40 there if you want to get set for following along. But basically what we're going to see is just what comes where, what goes where. And Texas is at least one of those where they've raised more in taxes than what they get from the federal government.
Captain John Regan's with us. I'm Vin Finelli. John's talking about the numbers. We'll be right back in just a couple minutes after these few short commercial announcements. How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
Does being over 40 make you feel like half the man you used to be? Do you feel more tired, out of shape, not in the mood like you used to be? Thanks to an exclusive formula, you can help boost testosterone levels safely and naturally. Introducing Ageless Male, a life-changing supplement for men tested to help increase testosterone levels.
You'll notice a boost in your energy levels. Workouts work, sex life improves. It's like a light switch goes on.
Try Ageless Male risk-free if you would like to experience what taking Ageless Male can feel like. Support for healthy, normal testosterone levels, healthy energy, and increased performance, and more romance when you want it.
Call 1-800-327-4821. That's 1-800-327-4821. 800-327-4821. 800-327-4821. That's 1-800-327-4821.
KDArmor.com is your one-stop shop for the most affordable body armor, period. With packages starting at $169.99 and free shipping on every order. KD offers soft armor and rifle threat rated armor up to level 4. Go to KDArmor.com and get your body armor today while you still can. Mention this ad and receive a free tactical scarf for a limited time with any body armor package. That's CATIarmor.com. Come and take it.
Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number, 1-855-905-MY-TV. The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. Say goodbye to the cable guy and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. Sign up for packages starting as low as $19.99, and there's no equipment to buy. You get free HD TV upgrade, a free DVR upgrade, and free professional installation. You control what you watch when you watch it. Record your favorite shows, pause and rewind live TV, even skip the commercials. Watch local channels too. At just $19.99, what are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV. Say goodbye to the cable guy. Cut costs and get more. 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV.
We the people grow cotton, weave fabric, engrave ink, embed strips and fibers to protect from counterfeit and carting to a private bank, having it lent back at interest, forcing taxes to service debt. This capitalism, or was Jefferson correct when stating a central bank issuing the public currency is a greater menace to the liberties of the people than a standing army? Ted Anderson, I'm placing a free silver dollar in a book that explains our monetary system. Call for your copy, 800-686-2237. It's time to understand the system. Call 800-686-2237. That's 800-686-2237.
Captain John Regan's with us, and he's going through the numbers. And John, please continue. We've got till the bottom of the hour to get this done.
And I apologize for having to talk about accounting on the radio. It's tough enough to do in person. It's not fun. And but like I say, if you're going to present to a governor that he can just withhold funds and be okay, this is what you're going to see. And like I say, if you don't have a rebuttal, you're not going anywhere. And what I've established so far is we've seen where the federal government is showing $3 trillion a year in income, and very, very little of that, perhaps a few $1 million, maybe up to a few billion, is received from the state, and even those funds are coming from primarily payroll sources. Well, when we look at Texas, and they make these CAFRs tough to read. If you look at my transcript when I went back to get my master's in finance, I also took a senior level accounting course called Governmental and Nonprofit Accounting. And I was kind of looking forward to the CAFR section because I've been following this guy that I found on the internet years ago that comes on and say how that we can eliminate taxes because there's so much money being held by all these entities, and it's all in the CAFRs. And I was looking at exposing that and teaching all these other accounting majors out there what reality was. And what I found when I got into the CAFRs was not a wealth of assets, it was a wealth of debt. Because even though they do have a lot of investments in there, what they've promised is so much more that they don't have enough to cover it. So what we're seeing here, things are split up. We have what's called the general fund, which is what most people think when they think about government. It's the main government operations. And then there's also a total, which takes into account all the other funds, and we can go crazy just trying to keep up with all the different funds. But the primary and the largest is the general fund. In Texas, that's a little over $90 billion, and just under half comes from taxes, and about a third comes from a little over 39% comes from the federal government. In total, we see that we get practically 40%, just talking around numbers, or $40 trillion for a percent of 36%. If the state were to lose all federal funds, because it's under that 40% I talked about, they'd only have to raise all the other revenue by 58% to make up the difference. I also give the page where you can look at the assets and liabilities for those that are used to corporate accounting. We see the receivables, what is owed to the state by the federal government, came in at $850-some million. And the way that works, that's just a snapshot. We don't get to see what that is over a year. On the payable side, we see federal liabilities of $1.9 million. So we don't see a large amount owed to the feds. We do see a large amount that the feds owe the state. Well, that's looking at on a whole. But what if you're playing this game where, say, just the federal highway funds would be withheld? Well, we see that for the highway funds, $3.4 million is coming in. It's the largest single revenue item for the highway fund. That's 45% of highway funds, but it's less than 10% of total federal funding, 3% of revenue, and to make up that 3% loss, revenue would have to decrease almost 5%. And we'll take a further look when we get back.
Captain John Regan's with us, and he's talking about the numbers, and a little difficult to follow on the air, but he's trying, and we're trying. It's USAPrepares.com.
No way. Is that a real bullet necklace?
No, it's a 9mm bullet necklace with matching earrings, you'll notice.
Those are awesome. Where'd you get them?
Dave found them at PatriotNecklace.com.
Wow.
They have a variety of calibers and necklaces and earrings and keychains.
PatriotNecklace.com?
PatriotNecklace.com.
Your choice of caliber bullet includes a rugged American-made stainless steel dog tag chain. A percentage of every sale goes to military and service-related charities. And get a discount by entering GCN at checkout. Show your patriotism and support our troops with a bullet necklace from PatriotNecklace.com.
Okay, open your mouth and say ah.
When your child has a sore throat, you need to know when to get help. The doctor recommended Say Ah Sore Throat Exam is your solution. The scientifically designed oral retractor offers a clear view of the throat, relaxing the tongue and minimizing gag reflex. Compare with a medical grade chart, website, and app. Then you'll know just what to tell your doctor. A wellness plan in your hands in minutes. Go to SayAHHnow.com. SayAhNow.com, the new mainstay for every family's first aid kit.
Friends, this is Alex Jones for MidasResources.com. For more than 15 years, I have exclusively used Midas Resources for all my precious metal needs. Whether it's bullion or collectibles you're looking for, Midas Resources is simply the best. I own my gold as a hedge against inflation. This Federal Reserve fiat currency could go the way of the Deutschmark and the Weimar Republic anytime. In these historically dangerous times, it makes sense to physically hold gold and silver. Midas already has some of the best deals in the industry. But if you give them a call and mention the radio special, they will give you a list of the day's super specials. Midas brokers are standing by to answer all your questions at 800-686-2237. They also have a lot of informative free literature explaining the opportunities and risk of holding precious metals. They are ready to answer your questions at 800-686-2237. Again, that's 800-686-2237.
Silver has always been nature's very own antibiotic, and only one system allows you to produce an endless supply of nano-sized silver solutions right from the convenience of your home. Silver Lungs. With the addition of our unique lung delivery system, respiratory infections are targeted directly, where traditional oral administration simply cannot reach. This pioneering method also preserves the original particle sizes and delivers your silver solution directly into the bloodstream. See the Silver Lungs generator and lung delivery system at silverlungs.com. That's silverlungs.com.
Did you know that drinking pure, high alkaline water is one of the most important factors in maintaining high energy and vibrant health? Most experts agree that the water you drink should be at a pH level of 8 or higher. AlkaVision Plasma pH Drops, available only at alkavision.com, combine a unique formula of only the most alkaline minerals. AlkaVision Plasma pH Drops alkalize your water, ridding the body of harmful toxins, and helps you regain health and energy. Alkalizing your water by simply adding 10 drops of AlkaVision Plasma pH Drops helps the body rid itself of acidic waste, increases oxygen content, and raises the pH of your body to healthy levels. And bacteria and viruses cannot survive in an alkaline high pH environment. Order your bottle of AlkaVision Plasma pH Drops for only $29.95 at alkavision.com. That's ALKAvision.com. Or call 269-409-1776. 269-409-1776. Alkalize your body. Supercharge your health at alkavision.com today.
Healthy, organic, fresh fish, robust, mouth-watering vegetables, all from your home. It's called aquaponics. This brilliant, self-sustaining protein and veggie system is perfect for year-round growing. Know exactly where your food is coming from. Aquaponicssource.com is the one-stop shop for all your needs. Fish, fish food, plumbing, full systems, classes, and more. Learn to build your own system. Go to aquaponicssource.com for a free guide to aquaponics. That's aquaponicssource.com.
That's the sound your brain makes when you realize you're buying something and forgot the coupon. Online or in a store, knowing that you're missing a deal is the worst. You need the app from Retail Me Not right now. Get thousands of coupons from 50,000 stores like Kohl's, Domino's, Best Buy, and more with crazy deals like 60% off, free shipping, and free gifts with purchase. You can get a text invite to download the Retail Me Not app 100% free right now for Apple or Android. Just text the code UPDATE to 42767. Then just show your phone at checkout to save. It literally couldn't be easier. It's 2015. Keep your coupons in your phone. Stop what you're doing and text UPDATE to 42767. Listeners will get a text with a link to download it 100% free. Never forget another coupon again. Text the code UPDATE to 42767 right now. That's UPDATE to 42767. Message and data rates may apply. For terms and privacy, visit retailmenot.com.
Captain John Regan's with us, and he's going through the numbers. And we also have a whole bunch of other things to talk about today. We're going to be talking about the West Point cadets. We're going to be talking about, Barry's got 500 days left, and we'll be talking about hydraulic failures. John, back to you.
And I've got uplifting things like Fukushima.
John, that is something that we absolutely positively need to cover, and I'd like to talk about the weather-related impacts of Fukushima. So, back to you.
And you're finding out what kind of fun I used to be to work with. Only most of those were dealing with computer projects. And it's not like I was trying to cause problems. It's, hey, there's an issue here. How do we solve it type thing. And that's what I'm trying to do here. And so what I've shown here is that for Texas, we've got a large chunk of income coming in from the feds. We're looking at all the other sources, and there's a web page that it's about halfway down the post, and the hyperlink in blue says this web page, which goes to texastransparency.org and breaks down the sources of revenue. And you get to see things like the largest amount of tax for the state comes from sales tax. That's just over a quarter of all revenue collected. But the largest source by line item is federal income, which is almost a third of income. And if you wanted to replace all of federal income just with the sales tax, you'd have to more than double the state sales tax to make up for it. And that's the kind of issue we're looking at. But let's just say, what if it's, you're dealing with bits and pieces at a time, and you're looking at, say, the highway fund. Well, in the highway fund, We've got, a good deal of the highway fund comes from the feds, but overall, it's about 3% of the state's income. So to make up for that, they'd have to raise taxes about 5%. Now, Larry had also talked about a couple of sources, the gasoline tax and the rainy day fund. Well, when we look at the CAFR, we see the motor fuels taxes coming in at $3.33 billion. Again, that's about 3% of total revenue, but it's just a fraction of the $34 billion that we get from the feds. Then there's the rainy day fund, and I've got a link for that. It's called the Economic Stabilization Fund, or ESF. In 2014, we saw about $2.5 billion transferred in and $2 billion transferred out, giving a balance of $6.7 billion. So if Texas lost all federal funding, this ESF would make up for less than 17% of the loss. And either way you look at it, the $3 billion in fuels taxes, a couple of billion from the rainy day fund, $5 billion is still just a fraction of what Texas is receiving from the federal government. Then there's another thing to consider. We're only talking about the state of Texas. That's the government of the state of Texas. Texas has 254 counties. Each county has a county seat. Each county is going to probably have at least one school district. I know here in Dallas, besides Dallas ISD, you've got DeSoto ISD, Lancaster ISD, Mesquite ISD, Garland ISD, Farmers Branch ISD, and I don't even know how many school districts there are just in this county. We've also got other cities, water districts, metro transit areas, and I don't even know how many government entities we have, but suffice to say there's thousands in Texas, and I'd say at least 1,000 of them have to receive some kind of federal funding. So if you are going to go to battle with the federal government, the questions you have to raise is, would the Fed just cut off funding to the state government, or would they cut off funding to the state, which would affect these other 1,000 entities as well? And that would be an even larger impact than what we've talked about. I also give you a link to New Mexico. They're actually in worse shape than Texas, and I looked, it was like 10 years ago, they used to collect more in taxes from the state than they received in federal funds. Now that's reversed. They now receive more in federal funds than they collect in taxes from the state. And I know there's a number of states that have gone that way. So that's kind of a big hammer that the feds hold over a state. And I just detail in there how I came up with $1 trillion a year. That, based on Texas and New Mexico, it's an average of something over $20 billion a year that would have to be sent into the feds in order to receive back, times 25 to get to 50 states. That's roughly $1 trillion. And to try and compare this to some things that I know go on in the federal government, there's a lot of black ops projects that go on, and we do have to pay for those, but they are typically hidden somewhere within some other funding group. So when you look at the accounting of it, we can see the revenue, we can see the expenses, and we can see the debt that we've grown, but we don't necessarily see exactly where the money went to. And one of the examples of that, we can look back to September 10th, 2001, when the Secretary of Defense got up and said, and I don't remember the number, it was $1 trillion or $2 trillion, whatever it was a large number that the DOD can't account for. And unfortunately, on September 11th, something hit that part of the Pentagon where those computers were, and we'll never know anything close to where that money went. And on the one hand, the money technically was accounted for because we know it was spent. The problem is we don't know what it was spent on. Operationally with black projects, those things compartmentalize, so the individual people don't know what they're working on, but the projects are still in operations. So the point being is if there is this $1 trillion coming into the federal government, what's having to be done to hide that? Because it's not reflected as income in the financial report of the United States. We're not seeing it as income in the state CAFRs. We're not seeing it as an expense in the state CAFRs. These are audited financial reports, so the auditing firms would be involved. And of course, we have to transfer funds through banks, and that means the banks would be involved. Of course, we know the banks also, launder drug money for the feds. So, you can't put this past, being impossible. I'm just saying it's not in the financial reports. So if there is a $1 trillion slush fund, this is a big conspiracy, and I'd love to see it exposed. I don't see how that can be done. I know a lot of spending out there is on things that we'd find repugnant, but they still have to pay the money, and that's either raised by taxes or borrowing, and we know how well they've accomplished borrowing to the tune of nearly $20 trillion and promises for hundreds of trillions more. But states are a little different issue. States can't print money. They have limited borrowing options. They have to issue bonds, and a lot of times those have to be approved by the voters. And even just losing highway funds, having to raise taxes 5%, that would be pretty significant for any state. If you're talking about all federal funds, that's pretty catastrophic, and even somewhere in between. I didn't talk about health and human services, which are things like food, medical, and housing, which is a much larger amount than the federal highway funds are. So, point being is that if you want to bring this up to the governor is going to show you these financial reports, and it's going to be up to you to counter it. And I don't have an answer for that because everything I see doesn't allow for that amount of money to be passed around.
One explanation, John, one explanation may be that it's hidden. It absolutely is hidden, and we would not be able to uncover it. I've got a question for you. We were talking about the things that are hidden from us. We were talking. You and I have talked for years about people being concerned, and one thing that I noticed over the weekend, just as a small signal that people are concerned, is, well, in June we had record gun background checks, 1.5 million. In July, 1.6 million. August, 1.7 million. The numbers keep going up. John, wouldn't that indicate to you concern about all the threats that are around us, and distrust of the media and distrust of the government? Isn't that what that indicates?
Oh, but we have such a loving government.
John, when we come back, can we take a minute and talk about West Point? By now you know that USAPrepares.com is your source for water filtration systems. Here at the farm, we use our water filtration system for drinking, cooking, and for our cats and dogs. Which brand are we using? Well, that would be the ProPure system because it filters out pathogens, microbes, chlorine, and fluoride. Multiple sources indicate that fluoride is responsible for lowering our IQs by 5%. Now, how many of you would like to sign up for a lower IQ? USAPrepares.com offers ProPure water filtration systems and accessories at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate. We buy them by the pallet loads and pass the savings on to you. And if you're outside of Missouri, there's no sales tax. And if this appeals to you, visit USAPrepares.com. That's USAPrepares.com. You can order online, and we have the ProPure water filtration systems in stock, ready to ship. USAPrepares.com. ProPure water filtration systems at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate.
No way. Is that a real bullet necklace?
No, it's a 9mm bullet necklace with matching earrings, you'll notice.
Those are awesome. Where'd you get them?
Dave found them at patriotnecklace.com.
Wow.
They have a variety of calibers and necklaces and earrings and keychains.
PatriotNecklace.com?
PatriotNecklace.com.
Your choice of caliber bullet includes a rugged American-made stainless steel dog tag chain. A percentage of every sale goes to military and service-related charities. And get a discount by entering GCN at checkout. Show your patriotism and support our troops with a bullet necklace from PatriotNecklace.com.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of slingbow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Sciatica, lower back pain, hip pain, poor posture. If you suffer from any of these problems, get ready to relax. Introducing an amazing product that's been in the market for over 25 years, the Sacro Wedgie. It was invented by a football coach using a common sense osteopath technique. He created this device to help his athletes by isolating and supporting the sacrum, which is the keystone of our anatomy. This wedge-shaped bone is in the center of our hips, where a lot of pain starts. Simply relax 20 minutes daily on the amazingly simple Sacro Wedgie and let gravity do the work, helping muscles rebalance and start releasing nerves. Sit on the Sacro Wedgie at the computer or while traveling to help correct posture to finally help relieve those stubborn aches and pains for only $33.95. It's made in the USA, so click the family-owned website at sacrowedgie.com, spelled SACROWEDGY.com, or call 1-800-737-9295. That's 1-800-737-9295. Relax your back pain away with the Sacro Wedgie.
Attention USA Prepares listeners. When you're on the road or have limited data or Wi-Fi, now you can listen to USA Prepares unfiltered and untapped at no extra charge on this non-federal phone number, 1-605-477-3249. Try it now to listen to USA Prepares 24/7 at no extra cost or data charges. These are not on federal lines. These are lines located on Indian reservations off the grid. Call 1-605-477-3249. No smartphones or internet needed. To hear USA Prepares untapped and off the grid, just call 1-605-477-3249.
Are you tired of commuting to a job that makes someone else rich? Working harder than ever, but getting nowhere? Do you hate spending hundreds of dollars every week on daycare? Having someone else raise your children? With our opportunities, you can start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss, work from home, and live a happier life. At Be the Boss Network, you'll find hundreds of work-from-home opportunities that you can literally start today and be earning money as soon as next week. Go to freedom106.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss. Get out of the rat race. Work from home. Go to freedom106.com right now and change your life today. That's freedom, the number 106.com. Go to freedom106.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You be the boss. Go to freedom106.com.
Okay, open your mouth and say ah.
When your child has a sore throat, you need to know when to get help. The doctor recommended Say Ah Sore Throat Exam is your solution. The scientifically designed oral retractor offers a clear view of the throat, relaxing the tongue and minimizing gag reflex. Compare with a medical grade chart, website, and app. Then you'll know just what to tell your doctor. A wellness plan in your hands in minutes. Go to SAYAHHnow.com. SayAhNow.com. The new mainstay for every family's first aid kit.
Captain John Regan's with us. John, you know, we have evidence, as far back as 1897 that at West Point there was something like this pillow fight that just occurred. And what happens is the cadets decide that, the cadets have a pillow fight, and it's allegedly a bonding event. Well, so who attended West Point, the top shelf of the U.S. Army? Well, Dwight David Eisenhower, Douglas MacArthur, Ulysses S. Grant. Anyway, so there was this pillow fight, and it's pillowcases and pillows. Well, in 2012, a cadet put what was called a lockbox in a pillowcase, and so this is kind of like a pillow fight, except one of the pillowcases had a lockbox, and it's kind of like think of it like a small safe, I guess, and getting hit with that caused some injuries. So the next year, the pillow fight was canceled. Well, this year we had some more injuries. We had some 30 students injured in the annual pillow fight. It became pretty violent. So what happened? Well, broken bones. An ambulances took cadets away, and this is all as reported by the Daily Mail. It went pretty violent. 30 students were wounded, broken leg. Then we had, what happened was, allegedly, some of these cadets put helmets into their pillowcases and caused serious injuries. This is West Point. Now, the comments are, well, these are the guys that are going to be our warriors. Well, I mentioned Dwight David Eisenhower, Ulysses S. Grant, Douglas MacArthur. Well, Dwight David Eisenhower and Douglas MacArthur were involved in the attack on U.S. veterans from the bonus army of World War I. Yeah. They came in with the cavalry, and some of the World War I veterans were killed at the hands of Dwight David Eisenhower and Douglas MacArthur. And I submit to you that this pillow fight, if you have a pillow fight and you have an honor code and you have rules, and then you violate the rules, I think these warriors in training should be dismissed. I think they should not be allowed to have a degree from West Point, and I think all the rights and privileges should be stripped from them. And I think our Congress critters who nominate these guys for a free ride to learn how to be warriors should research a little better the character and the integrity of those candidates that they nominate for this prestigious ride through West Point. John, what do you think?
We might be looking at this the wrong way. I think they're showing the same exemplary judgment that a former Secretary of State did by using a private email server and running classified information through it. So we may say that these cadets may well be qualified to run for president.
That is my concern. My concern is that if they have a pillow fight, it's a pillow fight. It's not a pillowcase stuffed with a hidden helmet that you bash, the skulls and ribs and legs of. Now, who would they be bashing? That would be their fellow classmen and friends, right? It's absolutely outrageous. And if you wonder why Americans are looked at as ugly Americans, there's just one more shining example. One more shining example of who we are and how far we have fallen. And you wonder why the police are out of control? It's just the same thing. More of the same. John Regan and I'll be right back right after top of the hour news and commercial announcements. We can talk about so many things, including self-driving cars and how to disable them. How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
Why do over 50% of North Americans suffer from some form of chronic ailment? Could it be due to a toxic overload? It's time to take back your life. Get the lead out as well as the cadmium, mercury, and calcium. Extendovite is a garlic cayenne supplement with 5 other herbs that acts like a natural Drano, cleaning out the stored toxins, restoring your energy and youthfulness that we've lost. If you would like to live your life free of sickness, pain, or fear, then Extendovite is for you. Available in either capsules or liquid, you too can see why Extendovite is the #1 heart drop available. To order, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822, or visit our website at heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
Hey, Berkey Guy here. Are you still drinking unfiltered tap water? Does your water contain chlorine or fluoride? Will you have drinkable water in an emergency? The Berkey Guy is here to help you remove these and other potential contaminants from your water, thus helping you drink clean, purified water. We offer Berkey water purification systems at the lowest available prices online. Don't go another moment without Berkey system. Over the last 10 years, we've helped thousands drink clean, purified water. Join them by visiting goberkey.com or call me, the Berkey Guy, at 877-886-3653. That's 877-886-3653.
Do you owe the IRS money? Has the IRS garnished your wages or put a lien against your house? The IRS has the power to make you pay back what they claim you owe and will stop at nothing to collect. There is a solution. Call Signature Tax now. Speak with our professionals and feel the weight of your tax burden lifted from your shoulders. Call now for your free and confidential analysis. 800-481-3147. Again, that's 800-481-3147. 800-481-3147.
Everyone all set, cocked, locked. Hour number 2 of USAPrepares.com. Captain John Regan's with us. John, I have a great deal of concern about these self-driving cars. And the reasons are many, but here's one. Let's say you have a self-driving car and it's programmed to only go certain places. But you want to go someplace other than those places. That's a concern to me. Also, what happens if they get confused? What happens if the computer that runs these cars or the computers get confused? Let me give you an example. So these self-driving cars use radar and laser systems in order to figure out if there are obstacles ahead, and that information is used to avoid crashing. Well, it's been shown that a laser pointer, a pulse generator, and a computer board have been able to confuse a self-driving car. And actually, according to the post on Daily Mail, that you can stop one of these self-driving cars with just a laser pointer. So I went to eBay during the broadcast, and I found you can get 2 laser pointers for $7.99 shipped. So roughly $3.50 a piece. Now, here's something that's very disturbing to me. So as these self-driving vehicles are moving around, they are blasting radar and they're blasting lasers laser beams around them to detect objects. So who wants to be in front of a laser beam and have a laser beam pointed at you? When I go to one of those checkouts at the those automated checkouts where they read the barcodes, if you look, you can see these lasers reading the barcodes. And I try very hard not to look anywhere near these red lasers because I believe, and I may be wrong, but I doubt it, I believe that these lasers can damage your eyesight. I really believe it. So when I taught school, I would not allow lasers in my classroom. I didn't use them, and I wouldn't allow the students to carry them because I think that they are weapons. I really do. As a matter of fact, the military has been testing them on ships where they have these high-powered lasers, and they can blast objects out of the sky. And I wonder if some of these weapons that we're deploying and testing in the oceans are causing the whales and other large sea life to die or come ashore or attack us on the shore. I wonder if that's what's going on with some of the animals. So I'm very concerned about these self-driving cars. John, do you have any thoughts, or you want to move on to the next item?
Well, I want to move on, but let me just point out the last article in SpyTech today, UNet, talks about using your body as a network for interconnected devices.
Yeah. And so your body would be acting as the antenna, if you will, right?
In essence, the network cable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. What's next?
Well, I want to talk about financial for a bit because we're finally here for those people waiting for the SMETA. So, I'm not going to be watching tick by tick, but I will be spending more time watching the markets on Friday and Monday just to see what happens. And, whether there's a crash or not, it still does not change the fundamental position of our financial condition. And as soon as I can, I'm going to rerun the numbers because it's been more recent tax stats published, and I just want to see if that makes any difference. I really doubt it because we're in this position where we're so close in, and the bottom line is that debt service plus government spending at their current rate of increase eclipse total income by 2020. That is an unprecedented event in human history, and we really don't know what's going to happen. And while I didn't get time to do a part of my special report today, if we look at the last item in financial, trust the experts. It's a collection of quotes from like 1929, 1930, and we've got one from 1927 from John Maynard Keynes, who the socialist that gave us our economic system today. And he said, "We will not have any more crashes in our time." That worked out well.
Yeah, John, I'm looking at the Post, and it says, "Yeah, we will not have any more crashes in our time." John Maynard Keynes, 1927, and then it goes on to say that Myron E. Forbes, he was the president of Pierce Arrow Motor Car Company in 1928. He said there will be no interruption in our permanent prosperity. Now, the Pierce Arrow Motor Car Company, of course, is no more. Yep, and Andrew Mellon in September of 1929, but just before the crash. There is no cause to worry. The high tide of prosperity will continue. John, this post goes on and on and on with quotes from famous people who have been looked up to. Andrew Mellon is certainly one of them. the Secretary of Labor, James J. Davis. I mean, it goes on and on. Calvin Coolidge. They're all talking about how great things are before, during, and after the crash. Things are just great. And I guess the point that we can all take from this, John, is that if you believe the media, you're probably going to be damaged by it.
Yeah, I don't know if we're going to get to the employment section today where they released the unemployment numbers on Friday. And even though they had fewer people finding jobs than entered the workforce, unemployment rate still went down from 5.3 to 5.1%. Everything is great. Go back to sleep, and we'll see you on the other side. But
John,
you look at...
Here's what I don't see. Here's what I don't see. Back during the housing boom, just before 2005, 6, and 7, you would see guys driving pickup trucks with ladders, and there were construction vehicles and pickups that were used for, contractors and construction and all kinds of building projects. And I don't see any of them anymore. I mean, very rarely do I see them. So that's just one more indication that, this boom, there is no boom. And in terms of building, I don't see much in building going on. Used to see all these new projects starting. You don't see them anymore. Very rarely. Just one more piece of anecdotal evidence that the economy is not booming, and these lies, that's what they are. They're just lies about unemployment. There are plenty of people that are unemployed. There's so many people unemployed that they have a urination and defecation problem in New York City. People are just relieving themselves in the streets, in the sidewalks, just wherever they happen to be. They have a homeless problem that they just don't know what to do with in New York City. And that is not a result of prosperity. It's a result of just the opposite. Desperation.
I wanted to bring that up so that you can look at what's being talked about today, and maybe you want to start collecting quotes so that you can post this in a few years. What were they saying in 2015? The other side is I just wanted to point out, we had that market crash in 1929. That was the beginning. It was not the end. So whether or not we have a crash this weekend or during September, October, which there's reasons besides the SMETA cycle. This is the time of year when the big funds have to adjust their portfolios, and they have no choice in buying and selling certain things. So that's why there's a lot of market upheaval this time of year. But like I say, I would not be surprised to see a crash this weekend. But even if it is, I believe there's still going to be time. Whether or not it'd be the time that we saw in the past, I'm kind of doubting it, because today we have the global economy and everything run by computers, so it's 24/7. So the contagion is going to travel quicker and further than it ever has before.
John, let me share anecdotal evidence with you. Something that happened to me over the weekend. I've had more tractor-related hydraulic failures on one tractor than I've ever had before. I had a power steering hose blow, and that rendered the tractor inoperable in the field. I couldn't start the engine. I couldn't move the tractor because it would just blow probably a gallon of hydraulic oil every 2 or 3 seconds, just sprayed all over the field. So I had to shut down the tractor immediately. I was able to, believe it or not, I was able to get a hose made and replace a hose, hydraulic hose. Got it in, started the tractor up, another hose blew. So I had to tow the tractor home with a little tractor. This is a big tractor. It's 100 horsepower. I towed it with a small tractor, 40 horsepower. It's kind of like watching a Jeep tow a tow truck. That's kind of what it was like. Well, I got that hose fixed. Then the water pump blew on the same tractor. And I couldn't get a replacement hose from John Deere. They didn't have one, and there was none in the state. Had to order it and pick it up today. By now you know that USAPrepares.com is your source for water filtration systems. Here at the farm, we use our water filtration system for drinking, cooking, and for our cats and dogs. Which brand are we using? Well, that would be the ProPure system, because it filters out pathogens, microbes, chlorine, and fluoride. Multiple sources indicate that fluoride is responsible for lowering our IQs by 5%. Now, how many of you would like to sign up for a lower IQ? USAPrepares.com offers ProPure water filtration systems and accessories at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate. We buy them by the pallet loads and pass the savings on to you. And if you're outside of Missouri, there's no sales tax. And if this appeals to you, visit USAPrepares.com. That's USAPrepares.com. You can order online, and we have the ProPure water filtration systems in stock, ready to ship. USAPrepares.com. ProPure water filtration systems at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate.
Honey, why are there fish swimming in our bathtub?
Aren't they cute? You need more omega-3s, and those fish oil pills with toxins and heavy metals are scary. So I'm making fish oil from scratch.
Oh boy, didn't I tell you I'm ordering Nutrigold fish oil? It's exceptionally pure.
That's what they all say.
No, really. Nutrigold's fish oil is concentrated from pure cold water fish straight off the Alaskan coast and manufactured right here in the USA.
Well, cold Alaskan waters are much more pristine than the polluted waters that other fish oils are sourced from.
That's what I'm saying. And it's 5-star certified to meet international purity, potency, and freshness standards.
Well, that sounds even better.
Great. I'll be in my office ordering a few bottles. If I order now on www.fishoil.best, I can save $5 using the promo code MyFishOil. Honey, why are there bees in my office?
Get rid of those fish burps for good. Go to Nutrigold's US-made fish oil products by going to www.fishoil.best and get $5 off by entering MyFishOil at checkout.
Hi, this is Ted Anderson. Have you ever wondered why banks, stockbrokers, investment advisors won't talk about gold IRAs? They've been available since 1986, yet the financial industry won't recognize the value of gold for your retirement. Gold has outperformed paper investments, yet no word about IRAs. If you would like to have gold for your retirement, call 800-686-2237. Don't get left behind by rising inflation and low returns. Call 800-686-2237. Secure your future and call 1-800-686-2237.
Did you know that select musical tones have the power to heal? By listening to 7 amazing songs that contain these tones, you can experience the power of music therapy.
I used to work in a pretty stressful atmosphere, but I started using the whole tones in the office, and I'm experiencing more focus, motivation, peace, and better relationships.
WholeTones99.com is a unique music therapy program featuring 7 secret ancient healing frequencies uncovered in the music of King David. Now you too can unlock the healing secrets of the Bible, as we are offering a free sample of this music so that you can discover their power to heal, relieve stress, and break negative cycles.
I use the tones to calm my 5, 3, and 2-year-olds to stop the fighting, and it works.
Now you can experience the healing music therapy in the comfort of your own home or office. Visit WholeTones99.com and get a free song. Visit WHOLETones99.com today for your free song. That's WholeTones99.com. WholeTones99.com.
Healthy, organic, fresh fish, robust, mouth-watering vegetables, all from your home. It's called aquaponics. This brilliant, self-sustaining protein and veggie system is perfect for year-round growing. Know exactly where your food is coming from. Aquaponicssource.com is the one-stop shop for all your needs. Fish, fish food, plumbing, full systems, classes, and more. Learn to build your own system. Go to aquaponicssource.com for a free guide to aquaponics. That's aquaponicssource.com.
Captain John Regan's with us, the Financial State of the Union.com. We're at the news tab. John, I just wanted to mention the anecdotal evidence of the supply chain. You know, I need to get a stoplight or a brake light switch for one of our vehicles, a 1999 vehicle. It's a real common part. Had to order it. Local guys don't have it. I need a water pump for the tractor. I've been looking around. A water pump, an original John Deere water pump, $850. on the internet, $850. That's for the part. And then our daughter has an old Mercedes ML320. It's worth a couple $1,000, literally a couple $1,000. And so she had a warning light come on, and the dealer said, "Oh, okay, it's a transmission failure. You need this transmission conductor plate, and the bill for that will be $1,090. Oh, by the way, you have an EGR valve problem, exhaust gas recirculation valve problem. That'll be $590. And so how much do those parts cost? Well, the transmission conductor plate's $126 on the internet. They want $1,090 to replace and repair that. And the EGR valve is $95 on the internet. Mercedes wants $590 for that. Our son had, and they said, oh, by the way, you have one other thing wrong, and that would be a ignition problem. And we can fix that for $115. Our daughter said, okay, just do the ignition problem. And that fixed everything. Then our son had a hydraulic failure, one of many he's had on his old Mercedes. And dealer wanted $5,400 to fix one hydraulic line. And they said he needed a hydraulic pump. Well, I looked at it, put up on the lift. And I decided now we'll just rip out the hydraulic suspension system, this automatic hydraulic suspension system. I replaced the whole thing with shock absorbers and struts for $1,550. So my son paid for that. My other son and I replaced it all. And what I'm saying is be careful when you go to your car dealers. I believe that there is a tendency to find things, imagine things that are wrong with your car, to jack up how much it's going to cost, and it is really, really expensive. So I just want to share that with you, John. And we have Tom in Baltimore. You're on with Captain John Regan and me. Welcome.
How cleverly we were all duped into giving up those wonderful items we had that we could actually work on repair and get longevity, as in a lifetime of use out of them, for the cheap throwaway stuff that we bought into because it was convenient, eh?
Tom, let me share some evidence that you're right on the money. So when I was getting this hydraulic hose fixed, the first one I bought over the weekend, I said to the machinist who makes our hoses for us, and I said, "Are you experiencing an increase in failure?" He said, "You know what? The new hoses on the new tractors are thinner. They will last through the warranty period." And that's what he said. And he had a pile of hoses. I mean, literally, there had to be 10 or 15 hoses that he had made waiting for customers to pick them up. And while I was walking out to my car or my truck with my hose, there was another guy walking out with his. I mean, these hydraulic failures are happening, I believe, at an increasing rate. And you're absolutely right. We're not buying things for longevity. And I was thinking about that. My newest, I went to buy parts on the internet, and I noticed that, when I typed in the make and model of the tractor, it said vintage. Looking for vintage equipment. I'm thinking, vintage? What are you kidding? And I said, oh, it is, it is a 1985 tractor. But you know what? My newest tractor is 25 years old. My newest one. And that's the one I used to tow the other one home with. But I was riding around tedding the field in a tractor built in 1974. And I think that it will outlast all the others.
I take it like I used to be. You're a big fan of finding good junkyards to mutter around in and find parts. That's where I used to get a lot of stuff from.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
Now,
and as a matter of fact, the junkyards let me walk around, or at least one of them does. And I just say, hey, can I go look around, because it'll jog my memory as to things I need. And then I'll just bring these things back and I'll say, here's what I found and here's what I'm going to use them for. And they think it's pretty cool.
Absolutely. Now, the reason I called, I don't mean to jump off of this subject, but before we run out of time, you were asking earlier about the CAFR reports. And it's interesting that you brought that up, because lately it's been coming up a lot. I've been singing about it to anybody who will listen. When I worked for government, eventually near, I guess, 3/4 of the way into my career, I attained a command position in the police department that I worked for, running a unit in the Special Operations Division. And
hold that thought. Tom, we'll be right back.
Virtually anyone can hack your cell phone and track your calls, your texts, your emails, your every movement, but only if they can detect a signal. Stay one step ahead of hackers and Big Brother with a Block-It Pocket, a custom-made pocket infused with pure silver that creates a complete Faraday enclosure for your cell phone. For free shipping to the lower 48, visit blockitpocket.com or call 888-315-9618. blockitpocket.com, enhancing health and privacy.
Okay, open your mouth and say ah.
When your child has a sore throat, you need to know when to get help. The doctor recommended Say Ah Sore Throat Exam is your solution. The scientifically designed oral retractor offers a clear view of the throat, relaxing the tongue and minimizing gag reflex. Compare with the medical grade chart, website, and app. Then you'll know just what to tell your doctor. A wellness plan in your hands in minutes. Go to SayAHHnow.com. SayAhNow.com, the new mainstay for every family's first aid kit.
We all know that Berkey Water Purification Systems are the most trusted name in water filtration. As an authorized Berkey dealer for over 6 years and serving thousands of satisfied customers, the Berkey Guy offers amazing specials for Berkey water filtration systems. The Berkey Light systems include a set of self-sterilizing and recleanable black purification elements that purify water by removing chlorine, pathogenic bacteria, cysts, and parasites to non-detectable levels and remove harmful chemicals such as herbicides and pesticides. Order the Berkey Light system today, complete with 2 black Berkey elements for only $231, and the Berkey Guy will ship your order free of charge. With the purchase of a Berkey Light, the Berkey Guy is also offering a set of fluoride and arsenic filters for only $39.99. That's over 30% off the retail price. Call the Berkey Guy at 1-877-886-3653. That's 1-877-886-3653. Or order online at goberkey.com. That's goberkey.com today.
The human body is more than 60% water. Your brain and muscles are 75% water. And your blood is 92% water. Water's vital to your body, and alkalizing your water is the key to keep it running at its best. AlkaVision Plasma pH drops keep your entire body healthy, boosts energy, promotes weight loss, and even fights cancer. Call 800-518-7615 or go to alkavision.com to find out more. That's alkavision.com.
Do you have difficulty taking supplements? Are you searching for a high-quality, complete nutritional drink that your whole family will love? NutriMedical's Life Support has arrived. All of your daily nutritional requirements in one quick, delicious drink. Dr. Bill Deagle's Life Support is a proprietary blend of vegan protein, activated vitamins, essential minerals, amino acids, probiotics, green tea, digestive enzymes, anti-inflammatories, cancer prevention, detoxification, and much more. Your body will high-five you for this one. Life Support is the best complete nutritious meal replacement on the market. Whether you are an elite athlete, have post-operative challenges, chronic illness, elderly, or a family that just wants a quick, delicious drink, try Dr. Bill Deagle's Life Support for optimized nutrition in one great tasting smoothie. Just add cold water, almond milk, fruit, or anything else you like. NutriMedical's Life Support. Try our great tasting chocolate or vanilla today. Call 888-212-8871 or visit us online at NutriMedical.com. NutriMedical.com for the whole family.
Attention USA Prepares listeners. When you're on the road or have limited data or Wi-Fi, now you can listen to USA Prepares Unfiltered and Untapped at no extra charge on this non-federal phone number, 1-605-477-3249. Try it now to listen to USA Prepares 24/7 at no extra cost or data charges. These are not on federal lines. These are lines located on Indian reservations off the grid. Call 1-605-477-3249. No smartphones or internet needed. To hear USA Prepares Untapped and off the grid, just call 1-605-477-3249.
As if chlorine in our water weren't bad enough, now they're adding ammonia?
It's true. Some municipalities are now adding ammonia plus chlorine to your water supply. It's a disinfectant called chloramine. But with a trusted Big Berkey water filter, you can keep chloramine out of your water. New NSF EPA certified lab tests show EPA Berkey water filters remove chloramines, pharmaceuticals, BPA, pesticides, bacteria and viruses, all forms of fluoride, and much more. Big Berkey water filters are the original and most trusted on the market, the gold standard in water purification. And our filters last for years at less than 2 cents per gallon. Big Berkey, the one that's powerful enough to purify stagnant pond water. Get your Big Berkey today. Call 1-877-99-BERKEY or click BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. That's 1-877-99-BERKEY. Big Berkey water filters for the love of clean water.
John Regan's with us, and Tom in Maryland is talking about the financial reports. Please continue, Tom.
Yeah, and I hope that you'll do many shows on this because I think it's incredibly important, and the one common denominator that everybody can agree on is something that they want to know about because, let's face it, when it comes to our labor and our money, which it is, it's something that you'd be hard-pressed to find somebody that would say, you know what, that's just not something I'm interested in. It affects every facet of our lives. So your guest was asking a very good question about where does the large amount of money go that's unaccountable in the CAFR reports. Now, you know, he's got a large part of the picture absolutely right, because a lot of people don't even know that this second set of books of these CAFR reports actually exist. They only know about what these government entities tell us about, and that's the budget, which is simply like you would do your household budget. You project what you're going to need. You list as best you can what you've spent, and of course, being government, they're not careful like we are in a household. You know, they just kind of throw out numbers, and really, they even cook those books because, of course, if they can say, listen, we're in the red, that means everybody has to pay a little bit more, which means they get more, but they don't need it. They absolutely don't need it. And what he's looking at, I am thinking, and he can correct me if I'm wrong on this, is what they produce and make very public, and they call it the CAFR report, but really what it is a consumer edition of the complete CAFR report. And if you went and I guess with the Freedom of Information Act, you could probably get the total report. How I stumbled onto this, and I thought that we did a genius thing. I found out later that many people had found out a whole lot more about it, but we actually had to start from scratch because I was finding that my unit was losing people and losing assets to the field division and other divisions because they told us, well, you know what, the money's just not coming in. So naturally, I wanted to know because I was the one having to pull the extra weight. I was having to share a secretary with another unit, which was ridiculous. My second in command was doing a lot of my duties. We needed staff. We needed equipment. And I was, quite frankly, getting upset. I went to the head of the Special Operations Division, which was my colonel, and I said, what in the world is going on here? Now, he was set. He had retired from the state police and said, well, you know, it's government. You know how it is. I said, well, you know, actually, sir, I don't. And, you know, I'm the one working 16-hour days, pulling this extra weight. I'm not getting overtime, I'm getting comp time because you're telling me the funds just aren't there. And I'd like to do an investigation. He said, you know what? Fine, you know, let me know what you find out. So we had the latitude to do that, being that we had detectives in this unit. And so we started looking into it. I went down to the budget office downtown in Baltimore, started asking a lot of questions. And they don't like that, by the way. We kind of did it on the sly. And we ended up making a couple good criminal cases with inside theft. But it was, you know, $10,000 here, $3,000 there. It wasn't anything that would justify what was really damaging our budget. So eventually I stumbled on the fact that indeed, and I believe it was my second in command that brought it up to me, said, you know what, maybe they're operating like a criminal organization where we're not really seeing the full books. So we found out, again, about the CAFR reports. And then we found out, you know what, these aren't really a true accounting as a certified public accountant would want for a forensic audit. And luckily, I was very close, in fact, romantically, with a young lady in the accounting department, which happened to be in the building next to ours. She helped me out a lot, because if you look at some of these books, it's like looking at Greek. And even she said, you know what, yeah, there is something wrong here. And that's how we found out that, indeed, we were looking at an abbreviated version of the CAFR report. Now, here's where the money's going. They're securitizing actual real property, and they're bundling those items. And what they're doing is, like Wall Street did with the mortgages, they're earning interest. So they've got these accounts set up, and we never could get to the bottom of it, because when we got to a certain level, we started getting stonewalled. And we were getting stonewalled because we just didn't have the clout and might, even as sworn law enforcement officers, doing our job to really make a dent when it comes to big money. But like I said, what we did find out from speaking with some of the people who were willing to talk to us, and as long as we didn't identify them, was what they were doing in regard to securitizing these real property items, and actually taking large amounts of money in addition to this securitization operation. They were loaning money. They were operating as a bank. They were investing in large corporations. You'd be amazed at how much government owns in everyday items, like, for instance, Apple. The city of Baltimore was invested in Apple. So is the state of Maryland. Brings up another issue right away to us, being in law enforcement. This is a huge conflict of interest when it comes to cases that are made that involve a lot of these companies. And we're not talking about a few companies. We're talking about major companies, and we're talking about thousands of them in the case of large governments. In terms of municipalities, we're talking about hundreds. But if you were to actually have a lawyer ask a judge on behalf of a client, listen, are there any conflicts of interest here? The judge would say, oh, absolutely not. Well, aside from the fact that, forget about these associations with businesses, there's a lot of other conflicts of interest, but this is just another set of conflicts of interest. But getting back to the money issue, the real issue here, these large sums of money, and we're talking, say, for the city of Baltimore, we were looking at trillions of dollars that had accrued earning interest that they weren't telling anybody about. And nobody was asking. So, in that regard, even if you could come out and say, look, we're going to bring a case against you, we thought we could with the help of maybe the FBI, but they didn't want to do it. So that brought up questions about what do they know and who's blocking them? Because your street agents were basically saying the same thing. Listen, we don't get into that. They just wanted to make their cases. They were, GF-13s and 14s, and they were on the bricks, as they called it, meaning they were out of the office doing their thing, and they didn't want to get involved in it. The guys in financial crimes, they just weren't making these big cases because that's where the money is. And if you do the math, and we never sat down to add up all the municipalities and think about what's in a municipality. We're not just talking about the government. We're talking about all of the individual government entities. You have maybe a water authority. You might have a school district. For instance, in California, I know the school district there, they cover their rainy day funds, they cover their teachers' pensions, and they're left with, I believe the last figures I looked at were about 10 years old, but they were left with an excess of something on the lines of over $50 billion. And that money, again, it sits there and it accrues. It grows bigger and bigger every year until you have a Goliath monstrosity that Lord knows how you would go about trying to tackle it. And I think that's one why a lot of people are afraid to touch it, because when you're talking about that kind of money, people get killed. You can't prove it, but certainly people die for a whole lot less. And I believe, again, that's really the route that if we as a nation could even get a small percentage of investigators and concerned citizens together, we could really strike at the root that could bring this tree of corruption down, because we so often get caught up in attacking branches of deceit and corruption, which certainly need to be addressed, but we're knocking off branches and we're never killing the actual tree of corruption. And I just wanted to point that out to you, and if you have any more questions, I can try to answer them, but that's about as far as we got. And it came time for me to retire. I did. I collect a small amount each month, and I leave it alone. But I'm certainly glad to share the information. I've been trying to tell anybody who's still working in financial crimes about it. I try to call radio stations and let them know what I found out. And again, since then, I realized, we didn't actually discover this. I mean, we did it the hard way because, again, we did it from scratch, but people, we found out later after I had retired, had really dug in a lot deeper. And this has been going on for years. I know, for instance, I talked to the Lieutenant Governor of Florida. I can't remember what her name was, and questioned her about it, and she dodged the question. I did get an opportunity to talk to the former governor, Jesse Ventura, and he admitted to it. He said, "Oh yeah, I was shocked." He said, I know all about that. And he was actually telling me a lot of what we had discovered in our investigations. And he laughed at that. He said, "Yeah, what are you going to do?" And after the conversation, I thought, I'm thinking misprision of felony because, I'm thinking, Governor, why did he do anything about it? He didn't bring it to light when he was in office, and certainly he was in a position to really, do something about it. So in that regard, I think you've got a lot of people in government who know about these things and realize...
Tom, hold that thought. How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
No way. Is that a real bullet necklace?
No, it's a 9mm bullet necklace with matching earrings, you'll notice.
Those are awesome. Where'd you get them?
Dave found them at PatriotNecklace.com.
Wow.
They have a variety of calibers and necklaces and earrings and keychains.
PatriotNecklace.com?
PatriotNecklace.com.
Your choice of caliber bullet includes a rugged American-made stainless steel dog tag chain. A percentage of every sale goes to military and service-related charities. And get a discount by entering GCN at checkout. Show your patriotism and support our troops with a bullet necklace from PatriotNecklace.com.
We've all heard the news stories. Another shooting, and they're getting worse. That's why Infidel Body Armor introduces Infidel Fridays, exclusive 24-hour insider deals to save you money and possibly save your life. Make it a favorite when you log on to InfidelBodyArmor.com. Then be sure to visit each and every Infidel Friday to get special insider pricing, but for 24 hours only. That's InfidelBodyArmor.com. Infidel Body Armor. Just won't quit.
As if chlorine in our water weren't bad enough, now they're adding ammonia?
It's true. Some municipalities are now adding ammonia plus chlorine to your water supply. It's a disinfectant called chloramine. But with a trusted Big Berkey water filter, you can keep chloramine out of your water. New NSF EPA certified lab tests show EPA Berkey water filters remove chloramines, pharmaceuticals, BPA, pesticides, bacteria and viruses, all forms of fluoride, and much more. Big Berkey water filters are the original and most trusted on the market, the gold standard in water purification. And our filters last for years at less than 2 cents per gallon. Big Berkey, the one that's powerful enough to purify stagnant pond water. Get your Big Berkey today. Call 1-877-99-BERKEY or click BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. That's 1-877-99-BERKEY. Big Berkey Water Filters, for the love of clean water.
My name's Clyde, age 59, and I reside in Florence, South Carolina. The doctors diagnosed me as having clogged arteries. It felt like I was carrying heavy concrete blocks around my feet and legs. I started taking Heart and Body Extract as directed. It is less than 3 weeks, and I'm like a young man again. It's unbelievable that an herbal formula can work so fast and so powerfully.
Learn the secrets of an effective, natural, 100% organic nutritional supplement for a healthy heart and circulation at hbextract.com.
Did you know that select musical tones have the power to heal? By listening to 7 amazing songs that contain these tones, you can experience the power of music therapy.
I used to work in a pretty stressful atmosphere, but I started using the whole tones in the office, and I'm experiencing more focus, motivation, peace, and better relationships.
WholeTones99.com is a unique music therapy program featuring 7 secret ancient healing frequencies uncovered in the music of King David. Now you too can unlock the healing secrets of the Bible, as we are offering a free sample of this music so that you can discover their power to heal, relieve stress, and break negative cycles.
I use the tones to calm my 5, 3, and 2-year-olds to stop the fighting, and it works.
Now you can experience the healing music therapy in the comfort of your own home or office. Visit WholeTones99.com and get a free song. Visit WHOLETones99.com today for your free song. That's WholeTones99.com. WholeTones99.com.
Okay, open your mouth and say ah.
When your child has a sore throat, you need to know when to get help. The doctor recommended Say Ah Sore Throat Exam is your solution. The scientifically designed oral retractor offers a clear view of the throat, relaxing the tongue and minimizing gag reflex. Compare with the medical grade chart, website, and app. Then you'll know just what to tell your doctor. A wellness plan in your hands in minutes. Go to SayAHHnow.com. SayAhNow.com, the new mainstay for every family's first aid kit.
Captain John Regan's with us, and John from Baltimore's with us. And John, I want to share something with you. You know, you talk about corruption and you talk about 2 sets of books. More anecdotal evidence. There's excuse me?
It's Tom, by the way.
Did I say Tom?
Thomas. You were calling me John.
No, John is with us. John Regan's with us, and Tom is in Baltimore.
Okay.
There's a disgraced former mayor of a New Jersey town. He's been sentenced to 25 years behind bars for repeatedly raping a relative's daughter, beginning when she was 6 years old. The guy's name is Matthew Scanapico. He's 71 years old, and now he's been arrested before. So he was the Republican mayor of Marlboro, New Jersey from 1992 to 2003. Okay. He pleaded guilty to accepting bribes from real estate developers and for defrauding the IRS. He took nearly $250,000 in payoffs that he's acknowledged this, according to the article in the New York Daily News. What I'm saying is, you know, you talk about corruption. You talk about 2 sets of books. Here's just one small example of a guy in Marlboro, New Jersey, who has stolen from people, defrauded the IRS, going to prison, sexually abused a 6-year-old. We have some really serious problems when these are the people who are running the show. Absolutely serious problems. So you're getting Stonewall trying to uncover. We're learning that there's 2 sets of books. We're learning that the people who we've elected to represent our interests are skimming, lying, cheating, and they're deviants, many of them.
Yeah, and this kind of money is so enormous that it buys and allows people to do virtually anything. And by the way, I'd be glad to leave you or email you rather my information and make available to anybody who's currently working in law enforcement where we left off and where naturally they would want to go, because there's a direction that could actually work in attacking this. If someone actually wanted to, really put their careers and lives on the line, they would certainly have to do it in a team and be very aware of the risks they were taking. But you wonder why the FBI, for instance, this is where we're going to go next, because we couldn't get real answers from them. You wonder why they hire so many accountants and lawyers, and that's what we were going to look into. Since we couldn't get direct answers from them, we were going to actually start an investigation and subpoena the government as to what were these guys actually doing, because you can't find that out. And naturally, I think you know where I'm going with this. We think that they're actually, whether they're aware of it or not, they're actually a large part of helping in making these things actually work, because you need people like that in order to have these things actually run. On the flip side, what you need are forensic certified public accountants and experienced financial fraud investigators, not like the FCC, who does nothing, who are willing to actually be the good guys with the white flag, or the battle flag rather, and go after the cogs that are making this, evil, corrupt, lying system. That's what you need to bring it down.
John Regan?
Yeah, thanks for opening the can of worms there.
Actually, both of you guys did this, and it's subject matter for future broadcasts, and the multiple sets of books, and the government used to beat up the mob for alleging that the mob had two sets of books, and now we're finding out that there's multiple mobs, including the government mob. John Regan, we didn't get a chance to talk about most of the things that we're going to talk about today. We'll have to do it again.
I'm shocked.
Tom in Baltimore, thank you so much. And my email address, Tom, is vincent@usaprepares.com. Vincent@usaprepares.com. Please send me that information. Class, above all, honesty and integrity. What happens next is up to you. By now you know that usaprepares.com is your source for water filtration systems. Here at the farm, we use our water filtration system for drinking, cooking, and for our cats and dogs. Which brand are we using? Well, that would be the ProPure system, because it filters out pathogens, microbes, chlorine, and fluoride. Multiple sources indicate that fluoride is responsible for lowering our IQs by 5%. Now, how many of you would like to sign up for a lower IQ? usaprepares.com offers ProPure water filtration systems and accessories at the same price as everyone else. Except we offer an instant rebate. We buy them by the pallet loads and pass the savings on to you. And if you're outside of Missouri, there's no sales tax. And if this appeals to you, visit usaprepares.com. That's usaprepares.com. You can order online, and we have the ProPure water filtration systems in stock, ready to ship. usaprepares.com. ProPure water filtration systems at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
Hey neighbor, what are you doing digging? You had a heart attack last year.
Oh, I know. I was told no more hard labor.
Then why are you digging?
Well, I've been taking Extendovite. It's been approved to help my heart.
Extendovite? Is that a new drug?
No, not a drug. It's more like an herbal combination made from garlic and cayenne.
Herbal? How can that help?
Well, actually, we've taken herbs for thousands of years. And Extendovite is doing the job for me.
Does your doctor know about Extendovite?
Yeah, my doctor knows, and he said it seems to be working for you, so don't stop taking it. I feel great taking Extendovite. I don't want to stop.
To order, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822. Or visit our website at heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extend Over.